And this movie was the start of the long battle and a rivalry between Mads Mikkelsen and a bathroom. Riders of Justice! Released in 2020 and is directed by Anders Thomas Jensen, who has also directed such films like Ernst og List, Wolfgang, Election Night, Flickering Lights, and Men and Chicken. And this film is starring Mads Mikkelsen, Nicolaj Likas, Andrea Heik Godeberg, Lars Brygman, and Niklas Bro. And this movie is a Danish movie. That's why I kind of sucked at pronunciating a lot of those movie titles and a lot of the actors' names because I'm terrible with foreign language, so I apologize. I try. Please be nice. And the reason why we're talking about Riders of Justice today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my longtime subscribers and contributors to this channel, Name the Stars. Thank you so much for this recommendation. You've sent me in a ton, so this was a part of like your big bundle. Thank you very much. And I know recently I did say thank you for the DVDs and Blu-ray that you did send me of movies that I haven't seen, of course, and I just thank you so much. You are fantastic and you keep this channel going, and I appreciate it. And I know that this was really sent over because I had reviewed Mads Mikkelsen before and I really like him as an actor. I had no idea what to expect from this movie, and shockingly, I was incredibly surprised, especially learning the title of the movie and then actually seeing what actually happens. I was like, oh, okay. I was expecting one thing, and I got kind of a PTSD and drama type film as opposed to it being all action, so yay, trauma! Otto Hoffmann is a computer analyst for a company that he was just fired from. And on that long train ride home, he gives up his seat to a mother who is taking the train with her teenage daughter. Seconds later, though, that side of the train gets smashed to bits, but Otto thankfully survives. But Otto believes that this train accident was not an accident at all. He believes it was a planned attack from a local gang called the Riders of Justice. So to help him figure it out and get revenge on those who did this terrible act, he goes to the husband of the mother that he gave up his seat for, Marcus Hansen, played by Mads Mikkelsen. And Marcus is part of the army, and he flies home to take care of his daughter, but of course when Marcus hears this, he kind of goes into army mode and starts developing a plan to take out every single member of this biker gang known as the Riders of Justice. Mads Mikkelsen is a badass in this film. Every single plan and operation that he plans to take out someone goes off without a hitch. Like, he takes out everyone, and no one even fires a shot at him. He completely takes everyone out very easily with, like, one shot. And everyone else is, like, freaking out, like, oh, I'm shooting guns all over the place. And he's just like, oh, dead. Done. He's a very efficient soldier, and I appreciate that. But he's also a very cold character, and that gets into the main purpose of this film, and the main message behind this film is that it's okay to not be okay. Like, this movie would be a therapist's just wet dream. They would love it because it deals with a lot of PTSD and people not being afraid or learning to not be afraid to open up and to ask for help and to talk about their feelings. Whereas Mads Mikkelsen's character, Marcus, buries everything and buries it deep down inside him. He just lost his wife, but he shows no emotion. He stays up all night. He drinks. He smokes. His daughter, who wants to get counseling and wants to get help from the nurses who were taking care of her. She was a part of the whole train accident. She wants that help, but Mads Mikkelsen's like, no, we're not going to do that. We can deal with it. And then Otto and his friends, who are also computer hackers and kind of develop this equation that kind of sets them on this long, dark path, they are also dealing with PTSD. Otto, more recently, with the train crash, but the other members of his little small organization here are also dealing with PTSD and trauma from their childhood. So that's what this movie is about. It's about mental health. Going into it, I thought it was going to be just like an action heist film where this guy is going to go out for revenge because he thinks that someone murdered his wife, so vengeance. It's kind of like that terrible Amazon Prime film that came out, I think, last year called Without a Trace. Michael B. Jordan, he's this ex-Marine and his wife gets murdered, so he just goes out for revenge, and the movie really sucks. I thought for sure that's what we were getting here, but no, shockingly, no. This is about mental health, and this is about a lot of people kind of sharing the dark pasts and dark experiences that they've had in their life, and shockingly, I really appreciated it. And I'm pretty sure this film is known for the scene where Mads Mikkelsen's character Marcus finally does break down and starts to show emotion. And I think I've seen this scene a couple of times when someone's doing like a sizzle reel for Mads Mikkelsen. Why is Mads Mikkelsen such a great actor? Well, they go to the bathroom scene where he just tears the thing down, smashes his forehead into a mirror, he punches the sink, he's tearing down all the shelves. There's this little handle that's on the wall that he tries to break off, and you can see that he is using every single bit of muscle and force that he has. He just can't get it off, so he decides to kick the wall. I've been in those situations where you've just been so mad, where your emotions have just been so just overflowing out of you that you want to break something, and that thing is not breaking, so you just decide to damage it in some other way. It's so raw, it's so visceral. It was such a great, heartbreaking scene to watch. And at the end, he's laying there and he's crying, and he's actually like calling for his friends, his colleagues to come over so that he can cradle him and hug him. And it's a great turn. It's one of the best turns that I've seen for a character, a cold character, in any movie that I have seen. And it's not easy making a very cold character that this is a 2-hour film, and for a good hour and a half, we spend with this character being extremely cold. So it's really hard to connect with someone, and it's really hard to portray a character like that and to get an audience behind them. So actually seeing that scene and seeing Mads Mikkelsen go on this emotional journey, it's very powerful, and it just proves that Mads Mikkelsen is fantastic, and he is a wonderful actor. And so is Nikolaj, who plays Otto. He's also presenting his own trauma and his own PTSD with everything that he's gone through. I do feel that this movie kind of leads you along to believe that, oh, we're going down a certain path, only to kind of pull back the sheets and we realize that we're, not going down a path. So what I've spent the last hour and a half thinking that we were doing, we're not actually doing anymore. So then what are we doing? So the movie starts, and Otto, for this, I guess, car company, I want to say. I can't really remember exactly what company he was working for, but he's been working on this just overall equation that will predict what will happen before it happens. And he has all of this data that he's been examining, kind of looking at cause and effect. I feel like this is like based on choice theory, where the theory is that there's an illusion of choice when in fact everything kind of plays into everything. I think that's what it is. If I'm wrong, please be nice in the comments, but that's my very generic comprehension of choice theory. Anyway, this equation kind of looks back at cause and effect and things that have happened before that have led to the reason of why people are in the place that they are in right now, and why things that have happened to them because of what has happened before. And wow, my brain really hurts after saying that. So when this train accident happens, his brain kind of goes into this equation that he has developed of where I don't believe this is a coincidence, when everyone around, the police, everyone looking at the accident, look and see like, yeah, it was probably a coincidence, it was an accident. But he thinks that there was an eyewitness who was on the train and didn't show up to a hearing, so the big leader of the Riders of Justice went free and was not arrested. So he thinks that the cause and effect was done by them. So in turn, the Riders of Justice caused the death of Mads Mikkelsen's character's wife in the movie. That's why they go down that path. But then we get to a point where Otto is actually talking to Mads Mikkelsen's daughter, and the daughter's kind of doing their own thing as to, okay, what led to that day of us getting on that train at that particular moment in time? And Otto's like, no, don't go down this road. You'll get nothing. You'll get no answers. You will find nothing but pain. It's nice. I understand it is nice to have a reason or something to blame when something bad happens in your life, but that doesn't mean that blaming that one thing is exactly what caused the thing to happen, the terrible thing to happen. Again, My brain hurts. This movie was just shocking. I was shocked by it. It was about more of PTSD and mental health as opposed to it being an action scene. The action scenes that we get in here are actually really awesome, but they're few and far between. It's not about that. I definitely recommend this movie. It was a shocking surprise, and we have fantastic performances in it. Yes, I feel like we were going on a journey that was kind of swept out from underneath us, and then you start asking questions as to, okay, why did I just watch this then? But other than that, though, I think a lot of the things in here are a lot of entertaining aspects to go back and watch this movie for. I'm gonna give Riders of Justice 3.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I am above average.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and there is a new release on Hulu over the weekend called Prey that is supposed to be a prequel to the Predators franchise. And shockingly, I think I've only seen one Predator film, like the original Predator film, and then I watched the Alien vs. Predator movies, but I don't think those are canon to the whole Predator franchise. That we had Predator 2, which thank God that title exists because now I know the sequence, but then we had Predators, kind of going off of the Aliens thing, and then we have The Predator that came out a couple of years ago. So Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator. I wish we would have just done Predator 3 and 4 with it. But this is supposed to be a prequel. I thought one of those was a prequel in there somewhere. This is a prequel to prequel? I don't know. It looks pretty cool, so we'll check it out next time. So guys, if you've seen Riders of Justice, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before, and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell, so you'll know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Prey. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.